Hi everyone, this is Vida Schmidt and I'm warmly welcome to today's CC-Webinar.Live executive interview, Sohail Qadir, VP Wholesale at Omantel. Good morning, good afternoon, Sohail. How are you doing today?
Good evening and good afternoon, Vida. I'm good, thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me for this interview.
You're very welcome. We are happy and honored having you here today and looking forward to hearing all that you have to share with us today.
Thank you.
Let me start, Sohail, with the first question. Developments this year are certainly a catalyst for digitalization. However, some sectors will face challenges. Which of the segments, again, enterprise, carriers, content, cloud, or other, do you see most positively or also negatively affected? And how does the new MC1 launch and strategic partnership with Equinix meet current demand from partners? And what are your USPs?
Thank you, Vida. So I'll take your question into two sections, I would say. So let's look into this, that today all the organizations, they are transforming their traditional business lines into more, I would say, digitalization. And I think this has been fueled up by the COVID. I would say this is something we have seen and witnessing a tremendous demand coming out of COVID-19 that has accelerated the digitization for multiple industries. And I would say not only industries, but also the government sector. Specifically when we talk about Oman, the government sector in Oman obviously was planning and is planning to go digitize and fully 100% digitalization as per the vision of Oman government 2040. But I would say that during this year, 2020, or the last few months, this has been accelerated and accelerated to a level where the decisions that were supposed to be made over years was made in weeks. The thing that was supposed to be implemented in I would say in a 6 to 8 months time was actually delivered and implemented and up and running within few weeks. And I can give you a small example for that is that Oman government had a plan to do, let's say, what we call it e-education, right? And every country is going towards e-education, which is becoming easier, and because of globalization of internet, everything and every student wants to have more and more content and more knowledge. Obviously, with the COVID in March, we also went down into lockdown as all other countries. Oman government took a step much earlier than few of the countries, and we went into lockdown so that we can save our people living over here from COVID. Obviously, March is sort of end of March is sort of a end of education period in Oman, and especially for grade 12, where students have to move from their schools to university. This is an important factor for the students and for the parents, and obviously for their future. We as Omantel were approached by the Ministry of Education, and we approached our partner Google, who is sitting with Omantel since last 10 years. They have a POP over here. We have very good relationship with them. And I can tell you that within 2 weeks of us working with Google and G Suite and Google Classroom, we launched Google Education or Google Classroom in Oman. And within 2 weeks, 900,000 students were taken online with the help of obviously Ministry of Education and Google, and obviously as Omantel as an operator and providing all the support and everything. And this whole thing was done, all the decisions were made within 2 weeks. Implementation was done within 2 weeks without any consultant or any person, traveling to Oman or doing anything. So I always give this example because I think this is a very, very important example for transformation. I think transformation is something that when you want, you can do it. So with this whole thing that happened in I would say in 2020, we have seen a lot of transformation happening in health industry, education. Most of the industries are moving into this. All the offices today, all across the globe, unfortunately because of a reason, but I would say fortunately that now we have all learned working together. Instead of myself sitting next to you giving this interview, I'm sitting in Muscat, you're sitting in Netherlands. and we are having this interview. So I think we have all now learned the new ways and we have transformed ourselves. Now with this transformation, I think what comes in is the infrastructure requirement. In our region, I would say in Middle East, we were not prepared for it. We had to work a lot to move to that level. And our plan of Omantel and obviously our partnership with Equinix came at the right time. We delivered the data center, one of the largest data center in the region in time. What I would say is that as Omantel, we are, I would say, a dominant operator when especially it comes to the international submarine cable system, international connectivity. And recently we have been recognized as the regional operator of the year by carrier community, thanks to carrier community and the judges. And that says that Omantel and Oman was already taking a lead into this, right? Majority of the cables are landing with us. Global hyperscalers, they are sitting in Oman and serving the region from here. What was required in this region and in Oman was that there was not a single one-stop shop for all the international carriers to come and gain connectivity into the region. And that was something that was important. For the hyperscalers to gain connectivity in one place, for the operators and I would say the regional carriers to come and place where they can cover the whole region, that was missing. And this is one of the reasons that you need a single data center in this region to have this thing. I think another reason is that a very vast and widespread international connectivity, and I would say de facto international connectivity to the whole globe, is one of the reasons that is required over here. I think reasonable backhaul charges is also an important point. That was an important question from the global players for this region. Commercially operated data centers by one of the, let's say, an international recognized data center company was also missing in this region on a very carrier neutral basis. And this is where we bring in Equinix MC1. And this is what we are offering to the market. And for the first time in this region, a pure carrier neutral data center managed by the largest data center company, retail data center company in the world, which is Equinix. When I say that is pure carrier neutral data center, is that day one when we launched this data center, Omantel obviously being an incumbent operator, we are present in the data center, but our second operator, which is the second operator in Oman, Ooredoo, they also have their transmission network ready and up and running in the data center. And then from day one, we have submarine cables systems landing into the data center. So I would say, and I would not feel different to say that today MC1 is the only data center with the highest submarine cables connected to one data center in the region. And I would say by 2020, it will be among the largest data center in the world to be highly connected place with almost 20 submarine cable systems to be connected in one data center. Now, I believe personally, and we as Omantel and Equinix also believe that this is going to be the main interconnection hub point for the Middle East. And it is a game changer. It is a game changer for not only for operators, but for enterprise, for carriers, for content players, and for the cloud providers to be at one place with all this connectivity and managed by someone. This data center MC1 is not only covering Middle East, but this is also covering the Western Asia because we are connected to Western Asia from here, and also we will be serving the European carriers and US carriers who wants to either serve the Middle East and the whole region or are between Asia and Europe. So I think this is where we bring in this MC1, and this is what it gives to the society. When I say society, I'm so talking about the communication, ICT, and telecom society of the region and of the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this insightful information with us and with our community. Let me then jump to the second question. Sohail, how does the new launch, I believe you mentioned one or the other aspect earlier, but how does the new launch help to position Oman as the regional strategic peering and cable landing station hub? And which new geographies will you cover now? And do you have any particular target groups in those new geographies that were underserved before your arrival?
So, what I would say is that Equinix MC1 is, I would say, is a next step from Omantel. Omantel, as I earlier said, that we are a wholesale provider in the region with 14 cable systems landing with us. 2 cable systems are also landing with our second operator in the country. So in total, Oman has today 16 cable systems in Oman, which is, to be very honest, is sort of unheard. And with Omantel relationship with Zen, we have now geography of the whole Middle East with us. Now, I would say that this MC1 is a next step from our side, and to attract, I would say, an even more diversified ecosystem, and as a junction between Asia and Europe, and a gateway to the Middle East and to Africa. I think Oman will always be our home base. We will always keep Oman as our highly connected place, but we are also dramatically growing ourselves into Europe. We have our next hub in Europe, which we have selected as Marseille. Marseille is a hub for the communication, and Omantel have created a company over there a few years ago. We landed a first cable system as Omantel, which is called Asia, Africa, Europe 1, a big consortium cable with 19 consortium members, and we are a landing party over there. We got the license. We started moving into the backhaul provider in Europe, and now we are moving into I would say a bit more aggressive into European business with telecom and with communication. The third hub that we have created and we are expanding over there is in Singapore. So if you look at it, Oman is in the middle of Europe on the western side and on Singapore on the eastern side. What we are doing is we are connecting these new geographies into Oman. And Oman becoming, through MC1, becoming a hub for the content, all these geographical areas, we will be serving them from MC1. Obviously, we have plans to move and deploy some new data center in Saudi Arabia, in Jordan, and try to connect all of them into one mesh of data center and provide services to the new geographies as you asked for it. I think one of the example of Omantel positioning as a new central interconnection hub for obviously Middle East and Africa is our new, I would say, initiative, which is called OAC, Oman Australia Cable, which is obviously it's a cable system from our partner and our friend, our very close partnership with Subco. We are basically deploying a cable between western part of Australia, which is Perth, to a point-to-point system to Oman. So this is going to be for the first time, Australia, instead of going towards Singapore, is coming directly into Middle East, and obviously from Middle East they will go towards Europe. So this is a new route for them. This is a new route for us to go to and connect Australia. And I think this is something that speaks of itself, that companies like who are investing huge amount of investment in these cable system have selected Oman to be their landing point. And the reason why, because they see the growth of communication in Oman. And once we have the Oman Australia cable system, I would say that not only now we are serving Middle East and Africa and Asia, countries in our region, but we are now also connected to Australia. This is with the new route, we are serving Australian content from Oman as well. And I think this is where we are looking at in the new geographies and moving forward. Most probably, I would say in the next 3 years, all of this, what I'm talking to, will happen, will be in place. Either Blue Raman cable, Oman Australia cable will be landing in 2021. Blue Raman cable will be, we will be doing the CIF towards the end of this year or maybe early next year. And we are looking at 2022 and for this network to be up and running. Having said that, and connecting Zen, I think The new geographies that we are working on, I would say Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, obviously Jordan and Sudan. These are the main, I would say, territories that we as Omantel are working over there and trying to bring them into this mesh of network. I think once this is done, then obviously by 2023, we will have a new network which has been announced by Facebook and some of the other operators, which is called 2Africa. This will be also connecting all the eastern countries on the African side with Oman, and that is something that we will start doing in 2023 and start serving the eastern African side as well.
Thank you so much, Sohail, for sharing about the current projects and also the new plans when it comes to the expanding the geographical reach also. So let's now look into the future, perhaps, and wondering about the future outlook. So which new business operations will, in your view, meet current and future customer demands to deliver the services? Please enlighten us.
So it's a tricky question. You're talking about the future. I say something over here, my management and board will ask me to do it as well. So I think if you look at the current demand from the market as well as the future demand and the projects that will fulfill those, I would say the first and the foremost, MC1. As I explained, that MC1 is going to serve the region in a way that has never been done in this region. All the operators have access to it, be it our direct competition. And this was a very calculated, I would say, a business decision that we made as Omantel. We know that our competition will be sitting in MC1. They will be serving and fulfilling the demand of the content players and the clients in MC1, or you can say tenants in MC1, and not only Omantel. We will have competition in Oman, which will be equal to, I would say, the commercial competition, what is going on in Europe, right? We are talking to hyperscalers, they are coming. We are talking to internet service providers, the global internet service provider who are deploying and coming to deploy their nodes in MC1. One thing that I would like to highlight is that not only that we have launched MC1 as a data center, but we have also launched what we call it Internet Exchange, Equinix Internet Exchange. And again, for the first time, although we have internet exchanges in this region, Omantel and other operators, everyone has one or other internet exchanges, but again, very confined to me and mine. It's me and my internet exchange, and I cannot allow others to connect. This internet exchange that we have deployed in Oman, it's again in a carrier neutral data center. Everyone have access to it, and all the operators will be connected over here. So I would say that the first and the foremost, the current demand will be fulfilled by all the connectivity that is coming into the data center. As I said, 16 cable system connected to the data center today will serve the current requirements, but it will not be enough, because the requirement that we are seeing especially from hyperscalers, and when I say hyperscalers, I'm talking about the big OTT players, that requires a different kind of networks and different kind of initiatives that we have to take. So I think one of the main strategic priority of course is to ensure that MC1 is a success for us as Omantel and for me personally. Obviously, which we will be supporting by deploying more and more regional and international connectivity into the data center. And by this, we will ensure that it remains the most connected hub in the region. With all the carriers who are about to enter MC1, as I said, we will have a lot of competition, and that competition will serve our clients. I think that's the beauty of competition, that your clients will have a number of different options, and then they can have different quality of service and better commercials that are not heard of in this region. As Omantel, I think I would like to say, and this is coming not from me, as I have obviously support of our management and especially our board and the shareholders, that Omantel will continue our journey to expand our international networks and to leverage the strategic geographical locations of Oman, which is the most important gift to Oman. We are supporting what we call it Silk Route initiative. We are connecting to China through going through Pakistan. So that's one of the initiatives that we are working on. Obviously, opening up China market into MC1 and then from here towards Europe and to the region. That's, we are talking about huge amount of traffic. We are not talking about few terabits. We are talking about huge terabits amount of traffic. New system bound for Europe, I think, to create redundancy and alternative to crossing Egypt. As I said, Blue Raman. We are working on that with Google and Telecom Italia Sparkle as our partners. Now that system is not a normal traditional cable landing or consortium cable. This is a fiber pair system. We are deploying 20 fiber pairs from India to Oman to all the way to Europe. And those 20 fiber pairs, we are talking about 20 terabits of capacity in each fiber pair. So you can calculate that how much traffic this only one network will generate and can carry. And obviously this is landing in MC1 as well. Further, as Omantel, we are doing and working with our partners on a cable system that we call G2A, Gulf to Africa, which is connecting Salalah to Somalia. And we are working with our partners to further extend that system on the terrestrial network, on the land network to Ethiopia to capture the landlocked countries of Africa, and especially Ethiopia with 80 to 100 million population. I think the next and another one project that we are working in coordination with our partner and Zen is called extension of GCCIA network. So GCCIA network is a terrestrial network or over the grid network of all the GCC countries. So ourselves and Zen with GCCIA obviously as our partner, we are going to extend this network into Oman and connect into MC1. So this will extend the access of MC1 to all the GCC countries all the way to Kuwait. And with our discussion with GCCIA, most probably this will, in future, this will be extended into Iraq as well. This is what we are doing. And the last one, but not the least, we are working with our partners and to connect Bahrain, Qatar, and Oman through a new submarine cable system, what we call it Khalij 1. These are a few of the projects that we are working, and we believe that in near future, these projects will be able to fulfill the demand of let's say next few years, all the digitization transformation that is happening and the content that is coming. I think these systems that we are working on and investing a huge amount of money, by the way, whatever system I'm talking about, we are looking at around, only from Omantel point of view, we're looking at around $200+ million investment in the next 3 years in these networks. This is something that will fulfill the demand for the next, I would say, 7 to 10 years. And obviously, maybe 7 years down the road, we will have to sit down again on the drawing board and maybe, come up with something new. Who knows what will happen in the next 7 to 10 years, how we will be looking at these things.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Sohail. It's very interesting to learn about these amazing plans and projects ahead, and also learning more about the company focus and how you improve your product range. I think we are at the end of our interview, and I would like to thank once again. Yes.
Yeah, before we end, I would like to, in the interview, I would like to really say a few things on the success of this project. As we were discussing before the interview, we delivered this project during COVID. Was a very difficult task. I can tell you it was difficult task. Not only that one was in lockdown, but the whole globe was locked down. And this data center is built by Equinix. All the equipment came from outside. So we had a number of challenges. And I would like to say thanks to all the team members who are involved from Equinix side and from Omantel side, and our, I would say, partners who are working with us, be our contractors or our consultants, who have really worked day and night to make it happen. So I think it merits that I thank all of them, especially the Equinix team, who have really done their magic to got this thing up and running during COVID.
From our side, one more time, huge congratulations to Omantel and Equinix team for this tremendous amount of efforts they put in, especially in these challenging time to launch it. It's a huge, I think, success and great news for the entire telco community. So we wish Omantel and the Equinix team good luck and all the best. And also from my side, I would like to say one more time, thank you very much, Sohail, for this interview and for being here with us today. And everyone, our pleasure. And everyone who is who will be watching this the recording version of this CC-Webinar.Live executive interview with Sohail Qadir, VP Wholesale at Omantel. Thank you for watching, and goodbye until next time.